I am so tired of you acting like you speak for the people of the state of Indiana or the city of Indianapolis. You do not speak for me or anyone I know. Now listen, you two jerks. Jerks on the right.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. So excited that you're here. Let me tell you what's coming up on the show today. The GOP's Epstein debacle. We're breaking that down for you. That's
not a good day.
A lot of influencers are facing backlash. We're talking about that. And also the Tate brothers return to the U.S.
Yeah.
All that and so much more coming up on the show today. You guys can reach us and see all the things and find all the things and look at all the things at chicksontheright.com/links. That's where you find us, chicksontheright.com/links.
You should do that.
And also subscribe to this podcast. Please do that if you haven't already. Just all you gotta do is click a button. Just click the subscribe button. That's it. And tell your friends.
Easy peasy. And you know what that'll do if you do that is then I think you'll get notified when our interview with Xavier DeRusso drops tomorrow.
That's right.
So don't you want to know when that's happening?
When everything. Yeah, you'll get notified about everything. And why wouldn't you want that?
So everybody should want that.
Right.
Big day today. And at this hour, it is now 8:01 Eastern, and 8 a.m. Eastern is the deadline that Pam Bondi gave Kash Patel to get all of the Epstein files to her on her desk like a minute ago, 2 minutes ago. So we'll see what happens during the show, but we're going to be breaking down what happened yesterday around the Epstein files, because it was not a good day for Republicans. It just wasn't. And we will get into all of that, but also happy shopping day, everybody. As you know, This is economic blackout day for the left. They're going to be trying to not buy things for 24 hours. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's so
you guys just stimulate the crap out of the economy.
All
the women are like, ooh,
place.
Amazon. I'm getting on Amazon. Yeah.
Or you could just go to inreallifecreations.etsy.com where they are selling happy anniversary shirts. The happy anniversary to us from yesterday.
Our sweet 16.
Yeah, it's our sweet 16. It says still right after 16 years. I love this shirt. But everything is like super, super discounted at her store today. So make sure that you stock up if you don't have all the stuff that you love from her merch store. Yesterday, we told you the sad news about Gene Hackman, and there is just more and more mystery surrounding this story. It is getting crazier and crazier. So we'll hear from Fox News first. This was like, can't even remember. I can't read what time this was yesterday that this report broke, but we're going to get into some of the more details that are surrounding this story as it gets weirder and weirder. Here's what was reported yesterday.
Press now looking at the sheriff's search warrant and saying that according to the sheriff, Hackman was found dead on Wednesday. As I mentioned, Hackman was in a mudroom. His wife, Betsy, was found dead in the bathroom next to a space heater. The AP also reporting there was an open prescription bottle and pills scattered, as they put it, on the countertop near Betsy Arakawa. So we're getting developing information.
It's so weird, you guys.
And then there was the dead dog too. One of the
two living ones.
Two living ones. Yeah, two of them are walking around the property, and then one of them is just dead. And it's like, what is even happening?
They ruled out the carbon monoxide thing. They tested it. There was no carbon monoxide, leak or anything like that. The fact, to me, it seems like the story went a little something like this. He was found next to his cane and a pair of sunglasses in the mudroom. So maybe he fell, right? Maybe he fell and died from the fall. And then she found him and was so distraught that she took a bunch of pills and then she died. Now, how the dog died, I have no idea. Why there were two other dogs just walking around and not eating them, I also have no idea, because it's possible they could have been dead for over a week. They're talking about how their bodies were starting to mummify, which I did not even think that was a thing. I keep reading the word mummification. What?
Yeah, I kind of agree with that theory, Ma, because I was thinking the same thing yesterday. Yeah, because it's either that or it's sinister and she did something. and I don't want to believe that she did anything to her, to
Yeah.
the husband, because I honestly think they've been together a really long time. I'm assuming she really loved him. So I think that your theory is a good one, at least you guys, it sucks. Cause I really liked him. It's like, what a crappy way
to go.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I hope they figure out what was going on,
Yeah. I just wish that they would stop using the word mummification. I don't think that's the right word. And that's the one that they keep using in the press. Like, to me, that layers of tape are like,
I know. Right. Do they mean rigor mortis? It's probably what they mean.
I don't know. I think it's some form of decomposition, and they just don't mean that. But there is an autopsy, or there were autopsies conducted. We're going to get the results of that, and I'm sure everything will be much clearer than it is right now. But yeah, things are getting weirder and weirder about that story.
It is very weird. It's very, very weird.
Absolutely crazy. Here is some great news. So remember when we talked forever ago to Hung Cao?
Yes.
He has been appointed as the next Undersecretary of the Navy.
Oh my God, I love this so much.
Isn't that great?
The greatest news. God bless him. I just love him. So dear to us, and just a wonderful guy, so smart. He deserves this.
Yeah, I'm so happy about this. This is a great appointment. It's like the military is just strengthening before our very eyes.
So great. So great.
You guys, if you are a person who does not like going to the doctor, or maybe you just have trouble getting into a primary care doctor, you need prescriptions, and it's a huge pain to have to talk to a doctor or to go to an urgent care when you're sick, and you just want to be prepared so that when an infection of some sort hits you, you come down with bronchitis, maybe you get a UTI. It is so nice, I am telling you, to have the medications that you need on hand and not having to think about getting yourself to an urgent care when you're sick or dealing with doctor's offices. Knowing that you have the medications you need on hand when you need them is the best. And you can do that by going to allfamilypharmacy.com/chicks. They have well over 200 different kinds of medications on hand, and you simply fill out their online form. You do get prescription medication delivered to your door, sometimes overnight, but usually within 2 days. And so it's quick and easy. You can get what you need without having to even venture outside of your home. So we love having this simplified process of getting our medications. If you need ivermectin, if you need hydroxychloroquine, all of that is available at allfamilypharmacy.com/chicks. And then when you use code CHICKS10, you get 10% off your entire order.
It's a great deal.
It's really, really, really nice to be prepared, you guys. Allfamilypharmacy.com/chicks. All right. So here's some other exciting news in addition to the Hung Cao news. Remember how it was such a huge deal when Elon Musk went on Joe Rogan's podcast?
Yes.
He's done it again. I don't know when it's dropping, but it's happening, you guys.
So I love this, because this is where you get real talk from people. I love it.
Right? 3.5 hours worth of real talk.
Yep.
So as Elon put it, this episode will be a spicy tamale.
Oh my God, I love that.
That's how he put it, and I'm taking his word for it. So this is going to be a not miss episode for sure.
Yep.
All right, so let's get into the absolute debacle that was yesterday. We played on our show yesterday the video of Pam Bondi talking to Jesse Waters the night before, saying, I've got all this on my desk. It's going to be everything's going to be released tomorrow. It's going to be amazing. So we were hyped, right? You even mentioned the Oscars happening this weekend.
Yep.
And how the timing was amazing. And we had no idea that there was going to be this whole influencer get together at the White House. These are the days, and I told Daisy this in pre-show, these are the days where I'm so happy that we're not that successul.
Right. We're not that big. We're like a mid-tier. You know what I mean? Which I'm good with that, because I honestly would not have liked to be a part of that.
No. So you probably saw lots of pictures. We'll have the pictures. We'll even have video of this gaggle of influencers walking out of the White House holding binders that said the Jeffrey Epstein files phase 1 on them. And you guys, It was so off-putting, some of these photos that were going around, and just the smiles and then the similar storylines behind them. So for example, Chad Prather posted, "Today I met with President Trump, VP JD Vance, AG Pam Bondi, and Director Kash Patel in the Oval Office. They handed me a binder copy of the Epstein files, the most transparent administration in American history. The best part? This is just the start. AG Bondi confirmed there are thousands more Epstein file documents being secretly held in the Southern District of New York, and they will be delivered to the DOJ in DC by February 28th. People will be going to jail for what they've done." And that was carbon copy what DC Drano posted.
Yeah.
So people were losing their minds that
Yeah,
this
because
all
it looks
seemed so
orchestrated. It looks like something the legacy media would do, which is here, put out the propaganda of it's a constitutional crisis. Everybody say that. Start saying constitutional. It's just, that's what it looked like to me yesterday.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is icky. I don't like it. And I don't like the fact that they gave it to influencers. What? So they got like binders full of women? Like, I don't.
Well, it turns out they got binders full of nothing.
Right.
But we'll get to that. Now, as soon as the backlash happened, Chad quickly posted, "So to be clear, yes, I copied and pasted DC Drano's statement with the intention of it being used as a quote. There was no messaging. I'm just now realizing that the quote and edit wasn't what got posted. It's my fault 100%. So, I mean, fine. Maybe there wasn't a coordinated message.
Yeah, but still, like, I don't know who did the picking of, here are the influencers that need to be standing in front of the White House and holding these binders. It just, the optics are bad. Just release the damn files to everybody. Nobody's more special than anybody else. All of us pay taxes and we want to see the freaking files. So I don't know what this was, but I think it was a huge, colossal fail.
Huge fail. And at this point, it seems like a huge fail on Pam Bondi's part because there was no reason for this. So it gets even weirder, but here's a photo. If you're watching and not listening, you can see this photo of all the influencers standing outside the White House, smiling, holding up their binders. It just looks awful. And the video, honestly, was even worse. So here's a little bit of the video of that moment. Yay, we're holding up files about a pedophile.
I know. That's another thing. Like, just making light of all of this. I don't like it. It just was a bad, it was, as you would say in German, a Klusterfuken. I don't know who did this or who was I'm assuming it was Bondi. Not a good look for conservatives, you guys. Not.
Like, literally everything about yesterday was not a good look at all. And there's so much more even to say about that. Yeah. And one of the people that was the most furious, now granted, she's furious about everything all the time, but Laura Loomer, she was out of her mind with rage about this. So when the influencer stuff started happening, that is when she absolutely lost it. She was like, this is all caps. There are no Epstein files. The binders are props. Every single one of those right-wing paid influencers lied to all of you today. They engaged in deception to run cover for pedophiles. They posted selfies with prop binders. Liars and deceivers.
Okay, I don't want to agree with her. I don't want to agree with Laura Loomer. I never want to do that. I want to be in that position. However, like, there really was nothing in those files. Like, that's one of the things I was thinking to myself yesterday is like, okay, you're holding up these binders. What the hell's in them? No one's put anything out in the, you know what I mean? They're not like talking about specific people or things. We want to know who was involved with all this. That's what we want to know. And so far we don't.
Well, and to be fair to the influencers, it sounds like they had no idea that they were about to be handed these files either. And nor did they know what was in them when they got that video and picture taken. They had no idea. So Laura went on to say, I hope to be a DeSantis loyalist or a bimbo influencer someday, so I too can get access to a cheap white binder and play gatekeeper at the White House with the American people. Where should I start? Registering Democrat or joining OnlyFans?
Okay, so people who like DeSantis are OnlyFans. Like, what is that?
Yeah, she's so insane.
Like,
oh my God.
Just calm down. Now, do I agree with some of what she said? Yeah, a little bit. little bit. I hate to, like I said, I hate to agree with her because the whole gatekeeping thing that's what they tried to put out there yesterday was here are influencers who are the gatekeepers of this information when it actually is not. There's nothing in there that's new. Nothing.
But I don't blame the influence. I mean, they looked terrible, but I don't think that they knew that there was nothing in the files when they received that. Or if duped. They did, they found out from that meeting, during that meeting, because we'll see a tweet about this from Liz Wheeler, who was one of the people that were there. And she's trying to explain exactly what happened and trying to shift everyone's anger where it belongs, which is at the Southern District of New York, who is obviously hiding lots and lots of information from the Jeffrey Epstein files. And so you'll be able to see what she says, and you guys can decide if you buy it or not. But it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse, because in the binder there, it turns out one of the pages was redacted and it had already been out in the public for years.
Yeah.
So even the very tiny amount of stuff that was included was not as forthcoming as what we have already seen.
Right. That's the thing. It's a nothing burger. It was like nothing. Yesterday they put out information that it's not groundbreaking anything.
No,
we're not seeing anything that we've not seen. They're not naming people, which is what the American people want. So hold people accountable. Like, why are they doing this? What is happening? Why can't they just release the damn files? I don't understand why this is so hard. If they're, I know that there's still like communication things that are happening. People are new to these jobs, but I don't think that's what it is. I just don't. That's where my conspiracy theory brain goes. I just go directly to, why does it take this long to get this out? I don't get it.
Well, there may be answers as we get further into the segment, because we do have a lot more explaining that you can either decide that you're okay with, or that you believe, or not. But there's so many unanswered questions. And Tim Pool is one person who was like, okay, the FBI New York, Southern District of New York has gone rogue. And included in that binder, in fact, probably one of the first things that everybody saw in the binder was the letter that Pam Bondi wrote to Patel saying, your New York office is withholding documents, and by 8 a.m. on Friday morning, I expect to have every last bit of information on my desk. What makes no sense about that letter is why it was written at all when she was on with, and I know it's hard to read, but probably everybody has seen the letter by now. And it's essentially Pam Bondi not chastising Kash Patel, but saying, listen, we talked about this yesterday. I'm supposed to have the entire file. Clearly, I don't have it. You got to find out what's going on in the New York office, the New York FBI office. But what makes no sense about that is that she was just on with Jesse Waters saying that she and Kash Patel have been talking about this. So why the need for a big public letter, a sternly worded letter? Just pick up the phone and say, let's go and arrest these MFers that are in New York hiding all the records.
And the bottom line is, I don't need to see a damn letter. I just want to see the Epstein files. So quit putting crap out that people don't really care about seeing. Just put the stuff out that we care about seeing, which is, in fact, the Epstein stuff. We want to see all the files. That's what we want to see. I don't give a shit about a letter. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's great that you're doing your job. Yeah.
The sternly worded letter. Seriously, this is where we are. Is it? And now it's like, now I wonder if the whole thing was handled, it was mismanaged from even before the election. Like, should it have been so publicized that if Trump is elected, all these files are going to be released? Because it's given the deep state all kinds of time to hide shit.
Oh my God,
you know what I mean?
So right. And and they're already like, we've heard stories this week about people at the FBI and the CIA even who are starting to squelch evidence. They're starting to burn it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Figuratively, they're starting to get rid of it. So you're right. It did give them a chance to do that because they knew they were in deep crap. So I don't like just the whole, everything that you could have done wrong, we're doing wrong, just, I don't know. Yeah. And it's not a good look. I mean, we're a month in, so they need to redeem themselves at this point and do the right things.
They've got some serious splaining to do.
Major cleanup on aisle 4. Yeah.
And then we hear from Anna Paulina Luna, who is, of course, in charge of the release of all this information. She's supposed to be the chief of the task force that is in charge of releasing this information to the public. And she said, The task force nor I were given or reviewed the Epstein documents being released today. A New York Post story just revealed that the documents will simply be Epstein's phone book. This is not what we or the American people asked for. Get us the information we asked for instead of leaking old information to the press.
Props to her. I agree 150%.
I mean, yeah.
Right.
And then Derek Hunter tweeted, sorry, but giving a bunch of influencers innocuous papers in a binder is embarrassing. You don't need to import people to give information to, thereby dictating that you release something. You're the boss, Pam Bondi. Don't demand documents from employees refusing to turn them over. Go get them or arrest anyone who refuses. A sternly worded memo to follow is weak sauce. You're either in charge or you're not. There is no in between.
I also agree with this.
Totally agree with that.
Totally agree with it. You know, I mean, you're a tough cookie. Go be tough.
Right.
Go be tough. Right. Yeah.
Now, so Liz Wheeler, one of the influencers, obviously all of them were catching a lot of heat for, you know, being all smiley and being like, look what we got. Everybody was like raging about this online yesterday. And Liz Wheeler, who was one of the influencers, decided to try to explain what happened. And she said, let me make this very clear. The binders were not given to us at the White House under any pretense that they contained damning Epstein information. Bondi was pissed because the deep state swamp creatures lied to her and gave her the files in the binder, pretending that the contents, yes, a nothing burger, were the complete Epstein documents. Why aren't you pissed that the SDNY defied President Trump and Bondi and attempted to subvert your votes? Why aren't you outraged that FBI swamp traders tried to hide evidence of what we know are heinous crimes and the powerful people implicated in them? Why aren't you screaming for the SDNY to give those files to Bondi, for Bondi to release them, and for Kash to absolutely level the SDNY?
Okay, well, listen, my anger at this is not mutually exclusive. You know,
Exactly.
I can be mad at all those things and then also be mad that they knew that there was nothing in these files and they chose to give them to influencers anyway, which looks weird. It makes us look bad. So that was so we can be mad about all the things at once.
Yes.
I can do that. Yeah.
Because why would Pam Bondi go through all the trouble to put what she was pissed about, knowing it wasn't the complete file? Why bother to even put it in binders?
Right.
Why hand it out at all? Like, it makes no sense.
I mean, these people were invited to the White House. So it's not, you didn't have to do that. Nobody had to do that. You didn't have to make the binders. You didn't have to invite the people. You didn't have to do the spectacle. They didn't have to do any of that stuff. So yes, Liz, I can be pissed off about all this stuff, but I could also be pissed off about the way that this has been handled, which is improperly.
This doesn't make any sense. And nothing that Liz said made it any better. I mean, it's fine if the influencers had no idea they were going to get the binders, fine. If they had no idea that what was in the binders was going to be nothing until Pam Bondi said, by the way, there's nothing in these, then why did they go out and be like, look what I got?
Right.
None of it makes sense.
You're right, Ma, because they didn't have to do that. They didn't have to do it. They could have been like, oh my God, this is a nightmare. Like, we got nothing. Why? I'm not going to hold it up in front of a bunch of people, in front of everybody and God, and say that there's something in here when there's not.
And then I can't remember which of them, probably all of them at this point, were told when they got the binders that there was an embargo on them until like later on in the afternoon, and they weren't allowed to show any of their followers what was in it until later in the afternoon. And again, if there was nothing, which there wasn't, why were they even given those instructions? Like, so much of this,
there's nothing stuff that we've already seen. Yeah. And I also would like, that's somebody, Louise said influencers got paid. It's interesting. Like, I don't know if they got paid. I think that the White House probably thinks that this elevates people somehow, but not a good look. It goes back to your point. I'm glad that we're not that popular where we weren't invited to do this. Cause what a cluster, you know what?
Oh my God. So glad not to have been included in all of this.
Too. Yeah.
And then this was like almost, nobody can even believe that this happened, but the actual House Judiciary GOP account, which is presumably run by Jim Jordan,
I can't,
wrote, breaking, Epstein files released, and then they included a link, which obviously was to make people think if you click this link, you're going to see the Epstein files. It was a freaking Rickroll, you guys. It was a Rick Astley video.
Yeah.
And so,
never gonna give you up. What's that? That's what you got.
So
who's getting fired?
People were so mad about this.
As we should be. Like, listen, you're making light of a guy who trafficked 12-year-old girls. See, girls as young as 12. He had on that island, like servicing his friends. He's a freaking pedophile. To make light of this is, I could not believe that happened yesterday.
I know.
I could not.
Who's
getting fired?
Somebody's got to get fired because this was absolutely out of control.
Fire all these people. Right.
And then, like, I'm always trying to play devil's advocate. Like, I always want to understand.
Yeah.
You're the
good cop. You're good cop. I'm bad cop. Right.
The only thing that I can think of to try to get inside the brain of whoever thought this was a good idea was that they were mocking how this had been built up with all the binders, and it turned out to be a nothing burger, and they were mocking that. But this was not the way.
No,
this was not the way to do it.
Totally not the way to do it. And that person needs to go because it just made the GOP look terrible.
Really, really bad. Christina Pusha, one of the people complaining, saying, as a Republican and more importantly, as an American who is no stranger to online trolling, I find this distasteful.
Yeah,
the trafficking and rape of children is not a joke.
She's 100% correct. She is. It's not
She
distasteful.
wasn't the only one.
That probably wouldn't have been the word that I used, distasteful, but it's true. It is distasteful.
Yeah. Yashar Ali said if Democrats had promised the release of files related to a notorious pedophile and sex trafficker and the House Democrats posted a Rickroll, God help them. People would be right to attack them.
Right.
And they would.
Yeah, they would. We're right to point out that this is just terrible. It's terrible.
I mean, and Xavier, who, again, you're going to see our interview with him tomorrow. He said, this just pisses me off so bad. We are sitting here waiting for the names responsible for elitist child sex trafficking, and you take this as an opportunity for a sick joke. Fuck all the way off.
I know, right?
So, I mean, how do you
agree with him? Yep.
Yeah. So then it gets even weirder, okay? Because then we finally hear from Kash Patel, which also became a whole weird thing on its own. But before we show you Kash's tweet, we do want to remind everybody about the mega sale at mypillow.com/chicks right now. Huge sale, particularly on the towels, which is our favorite product that MyPillow carries. I mean,
and
I know flannel sheets. Pillows.
Flannel sheets are on sale too, I think.
Yeah. I know we're supposed to like say that our favorite product is the pillows, and they're great. But the towels
are my favorite too. The towels are fantastic.
It just doesn't get any better.
It doesn't. Right. I don't think people understand how awesome they are.
I don't know how to convey it any harder.
You just need to get a set and then understand, and then you'll be buying them for everybody.
Yeah. And then you'll be like, why did I wait so long?
Right. And today's a good time to do it. Today is the greatest time to spend money and do it. So
absolutely. Check out mypillow.com/chicks. Don't forget to use code chicks. You'll get free shipping on every single order. Okay, so Kash Patel, everybody's waiting to hear from Kash Patel, especially after Pam Bondi sends him that sternly worded letter. So, right? Yep. So at 5:38 p.m., he tweets this. You can go ahead and read it.
The FBI is entering a new era, one that will be defined by integrity, accountability, and the unwavering pursuit of justice. There will be no cover-ups, no missing documents, and no stone left unturned. And anyone from the prior or current bureau who undermines this will be swiftly pursued and brought to justice. If there are gaps in the Epstein investigation, we will find them. If records have been hidden, we will uncover them, and we will bring everything we find to the DOJ to be fully assessed and transparently disseminated to the American people as it should be. The oath we take is to the law and the Constitution, and under my leadership, that promise will be upheld without compromise. Please keep in mind that there's a sentence there that says, if there are gaps in the Epstein investigation, we will find them. Did you guys see that?
And also keep in mind that it says this will be swiftly pursued and brought to justice.
Right. Just keep that in mind. That was at 5:38 p.m. He did that.
Right. So I'm texting our group and I'm like, oh, you guys, Kash just tweeted. And Spencer, our Indian correspondent, says, I don't see anything. There's nothing on his... And I'm like, wait, was this fake? And then I immediately freaked out because I'd already planned to include this, right? Well, for some reason, it was taken down and then replaced by an updated version of this exact same tweet,
right,
without the two phrases that we just pointed out to you.
So like about a half hour, 35 minutes later, this was put out. And you see,
so there's not going to be brought to justice. They're not specifying the Epstein case anymore.
Epstein stuff is in here. Yeah. What happened? A very interesting question, right? Like, why did he do this? Why did he do this? Yeah.
I don't
within like 35 minutes, he was like, oh shit, I got to put up another tweet. Why? It's weird.
Everything that could have been effed up yesterday
was
effed up.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it looks so bad on everybody's part.
It just does. Indeed.
I think Nick Freitas was also weighing in on this. And so he's always a voice of reason to me. We love us some Nick Freitas. And so here he is weighing in on the debacle.
All right, social media has been blowing up, and I think it has something to do with, that right there. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Yeah, I was in the room when Pam Bondi and Kash Patel, the Attorney General and the Director of the FBI, were handing these out. And right off the bat, one of the first things they said was, we're going to be releasing this to the public. What you need to understand is that there really isn't a smoking gun in the new information that we have available, except for the fact that it has become evident that certain members of the FBI have been withholding information from the Attorney General's office. Now, the AG has been pursuing this, but now we have a new director of the FBI, Kash Patel. So what we finally have is an Attorney General and a director of the FBI that actually wants to get to the bottom of this and will hold accountable not only the people on the Epstein list, but the people within the government who have been withholding key information in order to subvert prosecution. Now, as information becomes available, they have to be careful because they have to weigh what they need to get out to the public at the same time that they're going to need to be able to prosecute certain individuals. So I understand that. Here's what I'm saying. I know we're all frustrated about this because we should have had a lot more information a lot sooner. Mm-hmm. But I genuinely believe that we have people in power now that want to do something about it. And quite frankly, I'm willing to let them cook.
Okay. Well, then don't
explain.
Don't promise the files and then not deliver. You know,
don't make a blinder.
It's like, I think Juanita Broderick tweeted the other day, listen, people wouldn't be mad if they would just say, this is the reason that they haven't been released yet. And I totally agree with that. It's like, just that's transparency, is saying to the American people, hey, so we haven't, this is what's happening with the FBI. They're a bunch of schmucks because they've been like hiding all this information. We're trying, let us cook, kind of like what he says, let us cook. And I would have been completely fine with that. I would have been, but don't say, hey, we're going to give you all this information and then don't do it. Because that's
and then make a production out of having no information. Like that's the part that I'm just like,
you gotta, you lose the American people. Because again, it goes back to the whole, Biden and friends thought we were really stupid. Democrats think that Americans are stupid. We're not. And that's one thing that I think Trump does right, is he understands that the American people are not stupid. We understand what's going on. We want to completely tear down the deep state. And so just be freaking honest with us, man. Right. I mean, I'm like that, like in my personal life. I know all you guys are too, right? So you just want people to be straight with you. Just be straight with us.
And don't create or manufacture all these PR.
Right. Just
whatever that was.
Then you look like Democrats. Just stop,
Yeah.
Be
God. Jesse Waters also dug into SDNY a little bit on his show last night. Here he is.
So who's in charge at the New York FBI field office? Who's withholding Epstein docs from the Attorney General? James Dennehy is running the show there. There he is. This is the guy who emailed his whole staff to dig in after Trump took office. And don't forget that James Comey's daughter is an assistant U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York.
That's right.
She worked on the Epstein and Maxwell cases. She's kind of knee-deep in this. Epstein was facing sex trafficking charges in Lower Manhattan. Where's all that paperwork? The FBI seized computers, surveillance videos, banking records, file cabinets, and photographs from all of Epstein's properties in New Mexico, the Virgin Islands, Palm Beach, and in New York. The Justice Department also gave Epstein a sweetheart non-prosecution deal 17 years ago. Where are those files? The Bureau of Prisons. Where are those files? You remember where Epstein killed himself? I asked Bill Barr about that, why everything seemed to go wrong that night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When I first heard all the information and all the coincidences here, I was suspicious.
What were the coincidences? I mean, those were a lot of coincidences.
Well, one of the cameras was out.
Right.
He was supposed to have a cellmate. The cellmate left. They didn't replace the cellmate.
Okay.
And the guards who were supposed to check him every half hour didn't check him.
My EMT source said he was on the scene immediately to pull Epstein's body out to the morgue. And when he got to the cell, he saw 7 people there touching Epstein's body and moving stuff around.
Unbelievable. It's just, I mean, it's believable, but also unbelievable, right? And I'm old enough to remember when Epstein had banking privileges and Mike Lindell didn't. So
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting how that works in our government, you know? So yeah.
Everything is so shady.
Borked. It's borked, as you would say.
It is really, really borked.
They need to unbork it pretty quickly, you know?
So, you know, love Pam Bondi. I think she created a lot of unnecessary problems for herself yesterday. She went on Mark Levin's show last night to try to do some damage control. Here she is.
We released about 120 pages of documents, and I started asking for these documents right when I came into office and before Kash Patel was in there. So I ended up getting about 120 pages. We carefully redacted them, of course, to be sure the 254 young girls, women who are victims of sex crimes and sex trafficking, their personal information was redacted and out of there to protect them. So I'm going through it and I kept saying, there has to be more. There has to be more. I'm assured that's it. Kash asked the same questions. Assured there's no more. I found out, this week that a source told me New York, SDNY, they're sitting on thousands of pages of documents regarding Epstein. Thousands. And of course, you've seen the very strong letter. We will get everything. We will have it in our possession. We will redact it, of course, to protect grand jury information and confidential witnesses, but the American people have a right to know. And Donald Trump is the most transparent president in our nation's history. Yeah. So not only will America get the full Epstein files, they will get JFK, they will get Martin Luther King.
Okay. All right. Well, let's just do it, because Clinton was on the Lolita Express 26 times in 2 years. Like at the very least.
I'm sure that's completely on the up and up.
Oh, I'm sure. Because there was a bet on that plane. I mean, this is the thing.
Ew.
Like, I'm sure he was just traveling for business or doing, I don't even know, post-presidential things. It was 2001 to 2003. So in 2 years, he was on that. I want to see the flight logs at the very least. Like, I know that like they put that out there, but put out why these people traveled with him. Like, why? I mean, you can say, okay, well, Clinton, maybe he was just hitching a ride somewhere. And I know some people hitched rides with that guy. Okay. But 26 times in 2 years, what were you doing on that plane? I'd like to know. And
this is all. I saw somebody commenting, Pam Bondi is not the problem. Like, she wants what we want. I believe that. I believe her heart is pure. I believe her intentions are fine. But she created the spectacle yesterday, and there was no reason for the spectacle. That's the point. It was an unforced mistake. And I just don't understand why. And now there was this tweet from Katie Pavlich, which I was like, geez. So this adds to everything. She says, hey, everyone, regarding the Epstein files, Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's accomplice, is currently on appeal to the Supreme Court. It was filed January of this year. So don't expect much new from DOJ until that is resolved. This was the situation today, will be tomorrow, and the foreseeable future. Which again, if that's the holdup, just say it.
Right. All these roadblocks. It just the swamp is so disgusting and deep.
Yeah.
It's just gross, you guys. And that's what I walked away with yesterday. It was just, there's so much corruption in our government. It's like, we just got to suck the poison out. And I hope that they can do it. I hope these people can, because if they can't do it, I don't know who can.
Right. And I know they want to. I know Pam wants to. I know Kash wants to. I know that they want to get to the bottom of all of this, and they do want to be transparent.
Right.
So I just wish, because I'm sure that they all have staffers around them who are like, okay, from an optics perspective, try this, try that. They just need to turn off the noise and do what they know is right. And I feel like they're just getting bad advice all the way around. And
Yeah. Quit taking it and just go be badasses like you are.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Moving on. Let's talk about the Tate brothers, because this is another story that was pretty big yesterday.
Yeah.
Listen, you can think what you want about the accusations that were filed against Tate brothers. They were held in this Romanian prison for a while. Then they were on like house arrest, whatever. Maybe or maybe not. Maybe there's not enough evidence to hold them in jail. I don't know. I know that these brothers are disgusting.
Yeah, they're totally disgusting. And yesterday it was like, we were supposed to get like a release of the Epstein files, not the Tate brothers. Right? Like, what? I didn't sign up for this. I didn't vote for this, you know? Yeah.
They are absolutely vile. And I think the problem started, I think it was Candace Owens who actually gave Andrew Tate a platform first.
Yeah.
I know Tucker Carlson did as well.
With both of them.
And
Tucker Carlson, both Andrew and Tristan. Yeah.
And it's because, you know, this is what happens is that, oh, those brothers said they supported Donald Trump. They said some like conservative sounding things. And then everybody flocks to them and thinks, ooh, yay, they're on the right side. But they forget at the same time that these are disgusting men. Like they are so vile. There were videos that we thought about including today. And we were like, we can't. They're gross. They're just too gross.
They refer to women as bitches. They're like, I mean, he tells you how, Andrew will tell you how he made his money. And he was basically like he was kind of pimpy.
Oh, it wasn't kinda. And he talks about beating women, making them cry during sex. I mean, he's just disgusting.
And then they get on talk shows and they say, oh, these people have junk evidence. That's what they called it. Junk evidence.
It's literally videos of you talking.
Right.
You know, it's not junk if you're the one saying the words.
Yeah, Andrew, there was one interview he was in that I watched, which it's just so gross. He says that he uses the PhD program. That's the pimp and hose degree program. That's what he talks about. And he openly talks about what he did with these women. And yeah, I just don't. Why? Why did this happen yesterday?
We got a whole bunch of people, a lot of people in here saying, I like the Tate brothers. I don't know what there is to like, but you do you.
I go ahead and
they are the most vile men on the planet.
Right.
But that's not to say that I'm saying they're guilty. I don't know. They've been alleged to do things and maybe there's evidence of those things and maybe there's not. But apparently yesterday they were extradited back into the United States, or they were allowed to come into the United States. And it's been a long time since they were allowed to do that. And apparently deals had to be made with the Romanian government in order for them to be allowed back in the United States. And now there's questions. How did that happen? Who arranged it? A lot of people are pointing the fingers at Trump, but as you'll see from a video that we have here, Trump seems to have no idea how this happened. He's looking into it. And since they arrived in Florida, I can tell you for sure that DeSantis had no idea this was happening. And he was definitely not happy about it. Here's what he said.
Welcome here. What the state to send back to Romania or whatever?
We have no involvement in that. I read about it through the media. Clearly, the federal government has jurisdiction, whether they want to rebuff his entry into the United States, and I have confidence that whether it's Pam Bondi or Kristi Noem, that they will be looking at that. I do know our Attorney General, James Uthmeyer, is looking at what state hooks and jurisdiction we may have to be able to deal with this. But the reality is no, Florida is not a place where you're welcome with that type of conduct in the air. And I don't know how it came to this. We were not involved. We were not notified. I found out through the media that this was something that was happening. Okay, guys.
Yeah, and there are people in our audience saying that we love alpha males. They're alpha male. Real alpha males don't use women and their bodies to get rich. They don't manipulate women and pimp them out to get rich. That's not an alpha male. I live with
or brag about beating them and strangling them and making them cry.
I mean, I hope you don't have wives and daughters if you think that this is okay, because it's not.
Oh my God.
Good Lord.
This is the thing. I think people, they just focus in on, I agreed with a couple of the statements that they made, so therefore I like them. That you haven't watched enough of them then, because
go down the rabbit hole. Yeah, they made their money on the backs of women. They were pimping. I mean, it's just gross. The stuff that they do is gross.
They are
not alpha male.
Exactly right.
There's a difference between that and being an alpha male. We love
Man, I
alpha
should have
males.
just included the video because
Yeah.
the fact that people are like, they're just alpha male. No, you guys haven't seen enough of them then because they're yikes.
No,
And there's
he's
like
video,
one
like,
all
just-
over X that was floating around yesterday that was so filled with like so much disgusting stuff. I couldn't include it. So you can find it. It's out there everywhere.
All you got to do is do 5 minutes of research just to
That's
find
it.
his, like Andrew's MO was to manipulate women, get them in there, and then he webcammed these chicks. That's what he did. He got them on tape. He's like, you can F them and then get them on camera and then they work for you. They're basically working for you. That's what he did. And then he would take a cut, like a huge cut, and give them like, I don't know, however much dollars for a video that they did. And then he would take it's pimping. He's a pimp.
And again, there's a lot of allegations that we don't, that I don't think that he's been through the whole full judicial process about those.
Right.
All I'm saying, because he's super Sue happy, apparently, all I'm saying is that the words that have come out of his own mouth are enough for me to know that he is disgusting. He talks openly about beating and strangling and using women and making them cry. That's enough.
Not alpha male. And listen, so there's some things that he says that I agree with too. But how he made his money is disgusting. It's disgusting, and he talks about it openly.
Yeah.
And people that are like, oh, this is great. I don't know how you can think that's great, and then somebody else who does that is not great because like why? Because he said nice things. He said conservative sounding things. Yeah, just not okay. It's not okay.
And I know people are blaming Trump for making this whole arrival here in the country happen. But he, in the Oval Office, when Keir Starmer was here yesterday, he was asked about it, and he genuinely seemed surprised about this.
Andrew and Tristan Tate landed in Florida today on a private jet after being released from custody in Romania. They are accused rapists, human traffickers, not thought of as good people in many circles. Did your administration pressure the Romanian government to release them? And if so, why?
I know nothing about that. I don't know. You're saying he's on a plane right now?
He's back. They already did.
Yeah, I just know nothing about it. We'll check it out. We'll let you know.
I do. Look, obviously this involves, there's an English element here, so obviously it's important that justice is done, and human trafficking is obviously, to my mind, a security risk. And so we'll catch up with the story in due course.
You're aware.
Apparently they're not that much of a security risk if they were like just landing in Florida. You know what I mean? It's just
people were taking issue with DeSantis too for saying they're not welcome here. I mean, and I get that criticism of DeSantis because you don't get to say who's, if they're legally allowed to be in Florida, you don't get to say they're not welcome here. But I understand the sentiment that we don't like them. Like I would not personally have them here. I would not have invited them here. I think that's what he was trying to say. Maybe it was an artful.
Yeah, he could have said that. He could have been like, I don't like them. I think what they've done is kind of gross and skeevy, but I mean, it's a free country, I guess. If they're released, they can go wherever they want to go. And I guess Florida's a good state to go. So, I just, but that video showed me that Trump, he didn't know.
It didn't seem to me like he knew it all.
No, I mean, it was pretty obvious that he didn't know about it. So then who did it? Like what?
Well, that's the great question. So a lot of people are saying this was kind of arranged by Rick Grinnell. Romanian foreign minister said that Trump envoy Rick Grinnell had discussed Tate's case with him, although Grinnell said, he told the Financial Times, that the discussion was not substantive, but he did say, I support the Tate brothers as evidenced by my publicly available tweets. So again, I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay, so
how this happened.
This is a warning to all women in Florida. You may just want to be on the lookout and not get involved with these guys. You know what I mean? It's probably not a good idea, ladies. Because
they don't. They have no respect for women. Josh Hawley also tweeted about this, and he said, I would hope our government wasn't involved in any way. My view is that charges against him are very serious. I don't think conservatives should be glorifying this guy at all. No. I certainly don't think we should be using any influence in our government to try to get him out of what seem to be extremely serious charges in Romania. So I would hope that we weren't involved in any way. But I don't know. I kind of think we might have been. And so there's a difference between believing that he has the right to be here and perhaps he and his brother do. But there's a difference between that and doing what Holly says, which is glorifying him. And unfortunately, in some cases, that is exactly what's happening. The young Republicans of Tampa Bay have decided to invite him to, and in fact, they made this plea. They said, we welcome Cobra Tate and Tate the Talisman to Florida as free speech absolutists. The Tates haven't been formally convicted of any crimes and are welcome to speak to our group. We're old enough to remember when a convicted felon won the presidency. Okay, so they're trying to make this a free speech issue.
Yeah, and he's kind of different than Trump. Just a little. It's just a little different.
Yeah, he's a lot different.
I mean, this is the thing. The way that he made his money, I can't believe the young Republicans are like, let's go ahead and invite him. There's a gajillion other people you could have come speak, Tampa Bay young Republicans. Right? I don't think this is a good choice, you know?
It's just so ew.
Right? I know.
All right, moving on. Yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before, that we had the big announcement from Caroline Leavitt that the White House Correspondents Association would no longer be deciding on the press pool, and everybody was losing their minds.
Freaking out. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I was on the fence, as you remember, a little bit, because I was like, well, I mean, if this happened under KJP, we would also be losing our minds to some degree, I think.
Right.
And so Megyn Kelly had on Buck Sexton on her show the other day. And she, not that it matters because he doesn't say anything in this clip, it's just her talking, but she also had a comprehensive explanation about how the White House pool works and her concerns about this announcement.
The White House announced this week that they are going to decide who's in the White House press pool, not the press. Now, the press pool, for those listening at home, is a group of representatives from television, radio, yes, now streaming, and print reporters, usually a wire service like AP or Reuters. And it's a small group of representatives from each one of those realms of media that gets to follow the president around at all times in the more, not in like the residence of the White House, but like in the more intimate spaces like the Oval or on the trips. Something you're not going to take everybody who's in that press briefing room with you when you're the president of the United States. But pool, if you're part of pool, you get to go, and it is your responsibility to report everything he does back to all the other media and the public. And the pool reporting job is very important. It's, the pool is the reason we saw Ronald Reagan get shot. They were covering Ronald Reagan. I mean, he wasn't doing anything extraordinary that day, but pool was there because they always have eyes on the president. Pool was there covering even, President Trump when he got shot before he actually got reelected in Butler, Pennsylvania. Pool has to be there. And as a former reporter at Fox News, and I did White House duty when I was in my very young years there, here and there, pool is like a serious responsibility. You can't fuck up pool. Like you really do have to get it right. And typically the media will decide who can do pool because it's very expensive and everybody understands it's important that you get somebody in there who's really going to tell you what happened. So I will say, for the record, I don't know how I feel about the White House saying we're not now going to decide who's in pool. It's not the same as saying we're going to bring in new voices to the press briefing room.
Right.
I love all that. But I actually happen to believe the media should decide who's in pool. Because it's a matter of resources. It's just the TV lane alone. And they seem to be saying TV will not change. TV will decide who's doing TV. But the number of wires you've got to get in there to get the cameras ready, getting an experienced photog in there to make sure he gets moments like, God forbid, there's a presidential assassination attempt. You can't fuck around with that. You need true pros who have got a lot of experience, setting up a shot, being ready for breaking news. I speak only from the TV realm because that's the one I know. I got questions about this before I really endorse it or criticize it.
Well, it's just an interesting perspective because she understands that world.
Right. It's a great perspective. And honestly, if it's stuff like that, I don't want to be part of the pool. I don't want to be in there. You know what I mean? Are you with me on that? I mean, let's think about it.
Why are people mad at her? Why are you saying shut up, lady?
Yeah, I know. I mean,
she has that background.
She does. She has a really good background. And you do need experienced people in there. I can understand that. It's just, I think maybe there can be a happy medium here. It doesn't have to be one. Maybe we could figure out a way to meet halfway, or they could figure out a way to meet halfway and have people like us in there, and then have, the seasoned journalists that have all the wires. They have all the wires and the cameras and the things that we just don't have. So, I mean, I do see her point on that because we're just podcasters, and they want to give bloggers and podcasters a chance to get in there and have, have a seat at the table. And I get that. I think that's great.
Right.
I love that. But I also see
and
your
she
point
does
about,
too. Like she said as much. You know,
Right.
that part is awesome. Nobody's complaining about that part.
Totally.
At all. So it was just interesting perspective. Speaking of the pool and the press and all of that, KJP she's now doing interviews, and Jesse Waters was talking about her and showing some clips of a recent sit down that she did with somebody talking about Joe Biden's decline and basically saying how shocked they were that the press and everybody, literally the world, turned on them when Joe Biden had that horrible debate. So there was a couple, interesting clips from that, and Jesse breaks them down here.
Can you explain that?
The president spoke to it himself. He was very honest. He was like, look, I don't speak as well as I used to. I don't move as well as I used to. He was very honest about what the American people were seeing. So he never hid from that. As far as it comes to interviews, look, this was a different media landscape. It really was. He wanted to talk about issues, and it was very hard to have interviews where we were able to talk about issues.
A different media landscape? Every reporter wanted to interview the president. Biden said no. Then he botched the debate and got cooed. Binder still's hurt over it.
He got cooed.
There was a disconnect.
I love it.
For me, what was happening with leadership in the Democratic Party, it was a firing squad, and I had never seen anything like it before. I'd never seen a party do that in the way that they did, and it was hurtful and sad to see that happening. A firing squad around a person who I believe was a true patriot.
Oh,
that was
shocking.
Shocking.
The hardest part of the coup is finding a good leader to replace the guy you backstabbed. Kamala, not the answer.
I talk to a lot of Democrats and a lot of people since I've been here at Harvard say, who the hell do I look to?
I actually don't have anybody that I'm going to call out or put out there. I'm not. But I think that it is important it doesn't matter if you're a governor, Congress, senator, a local elected official.
Former vice president.
Former vice president. I want to see many voices. I don't just want to see one. I want to see many who can lead us through this time.
I don't miss her. I just don't.
Oh my God, I know, right?
And when is she going to end up on MSNBC? Because that's coming. She's jockeying for a position there. Yeah. She's like, maybe I can take Joy Reid's place. That would be great.
That's the last thing that we need. The last thing that we need.
Right.
There is some hullabaloo that you're going to start hearing more and more about, probably starting today, around this whole potential of Elon Musk's Starlink getting a contract with the FAA in place of an already signed off on contract with Verizon to upgrade air traffic control systems for getting us from point A to point B. And so a few days ago, Elon Musk, or Autism Capital, had tweeted, Elon Musk is seeking to deploy Starlink satellites to upgrade the IT networks of the FAA. Starlink already sent 4,000 Starlink terminals to the FAA as of last week. And by the way, they did that for free.
Oh my gosh.
This is reportedly in addition to Verizon, who had a $2 billion contract awarded in 2023 for upgrade work. And Elon said the Verizon system is not working, and so it's putting air travelers at serious risk.
Yeah,
that's alarming.
Yeah, it's alarming. But I mean, I want the people who know how to do things, who can get it done, and it'll work, especially when I'm flying.
Exactly.
It's kind of important. So everybody needs to quit being so butthurt here.
And so yesterday, Mario Nawfal said Starlink could replace Verizon and the swamp is panicking. The FAA is on the verge of canceling Verizon's bloated $2.4 billion contract and handing it over to Starlink, a move that would bring faster, safer, more reliable air traffic control services.
And it's probably cheaper. Yeah.
Elon retweeted that, saying, to be clear here, the Verizon communication system to air traffic control is breaking down very rapidly. The FAA assessment is single-digit months to catastrophic failure, putting air traveler safety at serious risk. The Starlink terminals are being sent at no cost to the taxpayer on an emergency basis to restore ATC connectivity. The situation is extremely dire. However, He then corrected himself and said it's actually not the Verizon system that's failing. It's the L3 Harris, whatever that is. The new system that is not yet operational is from Verizon, and he has concerns about it. And so that's why he's trying to help make us safe.
And they're obviously dragging their feet and they're not doing as quickly as they could be doing things. You know, like that Verizon. If it's not operational yet, it's like, okay, well then they need to give it to somebody who and this is why I think it's great that they have it, because he knows how to build things. He knows how to make things that work, obviously, and he can do it in a very timely manner. It's not like there's none of this bureaucratic red tape bull crap that goes with it. He wants things to work now, because if he's talking about that freaks me out, the single digit thing.
I know.
And I'm already afraid to fly, and I got to do it. Like we all have to fly, right? And it's like, just make sure that we're safe. That's the number one job.
I feel like he knows a little bit about aviation.
Maybe just a little bit. Yeah. I mean, I live 12 miles away from McGregor, which is where SpaceX, they have one of their SpaceX places. It's weird to me. I don't know if this makes any difference whatsoever, but over the past week, we've heard more and more tests. Like my house is shaking more than it's ever shaken.
Wow.
Because they are constantly doing tests. I mean, and they do it at the weirdest hours. These people work around the clock. They do. If you work for Elon, you're working all the time. And I've heard that I have a cousin who has a friend who worked there, and he said, I was working 20, 21-hour days. He expects a lot from his employees. He expects a lot from people on his teams, and he expects them to do the job right and to do it efficiently and quickly. And so, I mean, this is not a bad thing, especially if we're saving money. Why would it be a bad thing?
Of course, Democrats, because it's Elon, they're like, oh my God, conflict of interest. Oh my God, we have to sue everybody. You know, this is how they operate. But here, you're about to hear from Obama's former FAA administrator about this whole Elon getting involved with air traffic control. Here is that guy. I don't know his name, but here he's the former Obama guy.
The technology that the air traffic controllers use to guide planes in and out of airports is antiquated. And it takes a lot of money to really get the best equipment possible. So I give President Trump and Sean Duffy, the Secretary of Transportation, high marks for placing a high priority. You got to get the money, you got to get the best technology, and you got to get it in place. That's what the air traffic controllers need.
So there are updates that you think need to be made.
Pardon me?
There are some updates that need to be made. I've read that it's pretty.
It's a 19th century system. We need to get into the 21st century with our technology. These air traffic controllers, the flying public, deserves much better.
Do you think Musk, with his experience with SpaceX, would be a good person to take a look at it at least and make changes?
I think he understands the issues of aviation. And I think he understands the issues of safety in aviation, and he knows we have an antiquated system. And you know, President Trump has talked about it. I give him credit on this. They know what the issue is. They got to find the money to make it happen.
And again, it goes back to what the hell have they been doing with our money for the past however many years? They could have upgraded all this stuff, but where's the money gone? That pisses me off. It's not like these people don't get enough money from us, right? So what are they doing? Oh, that's right. They're spending it on illegal immigrants and freaking Zelensky, you know?
Well, and they're also spending it to fight making the upgrades. As you can see from Richard Blumenthal's tweet, he's sent an angry letter off to Secretary Duffy saying, I'm demanding Secretary Duffy explain why his agency is suddenly selecting Musk's Starlink for FAA use after a contract was already signed with Verizon. This new deal reeks of corruption, self-serving abuse of taxpayer dollars.
Since when has he given a crap about abusing taxpayer dollars? Since, oh, that's right, when Elon gets in charge of something. Otherwise, by all means, give me all your money so I can piss it away, right? I mean,
oh my God.
These people, it's so transparent what they're doing. Anything that they want to do to make things better, the Trumps and the Elons of the world, they want to make things better they want to make us safer in a more timely fashion. They want to do that. And Democrats are like, no, it's Elon, so we hate it.
I hope Elon talks about this a lot in the Rogan podcast.
Now you're concerned about like pissing away money? You jerk. You don't get to do that. It's unbelievable.
Ridiculous. Democrats are all about just stopping any progress. And that is crazy because they're supposed to be progressives, but they're not. They're just getting in the way of everything and they're making shit up. JB Pritzker,
the fat dude.
Yes. The guy that Gutfeld said last night looks like he ate Chris Christie.
He's not wrong.
So he's trying to say, you guys, that the reason that prices in the grocery remain high is because democracy is ending under Trump or something. Listen,
you got to remember that the things that I'm speaking out about now about, the threat to our democracy, this is not a message to win elections on. It's something people need to know. They need to know that that's happening. But, if you talk to 100 people, knock on 100 doors, and I've knocked on an awful lot of doors running for office, and you say to people, democracy is at risk, nobody knows what that looks like. They've never experienced it before.
Yeah.
And the reality is what people need to hear about is what the effects of that are. The prices at the grocery store are going up because democracy is being taken away.
This guy.
What?
I mean, this guy, I just can't. He's one of the good billionaires that we're supposed to listen to. Is that right? Am I getting that right? He's fine. He's on the right side. So he's a good billionaire. I mean, give me a break. He also was so pissed off about RFK getting appointed because he's like, oh my God, all of our health is going to suffer. Have you looked in the mirror, dude? Have you seen yourself lately? Maybe handle that before you start dissing that guy. I think he knows a little bit more about health than you do. Unreal.
Amy Klobuchar also absolutely having a hissy fit about all of the changes, about people leaving various departments and agencies. And she really wanted her colleagues to think about it because there's a stink, you guys. There's a stink, she says.
Beg my colleagues, instead of picking apart bills that we're not even passing, to actually do their jobs and look at what is right in front of you. Nominees who are saying that they will not follow court orders. FBI agents who have done nothing but do their jobs, getting fired. Prosecutors who have devoted themselves, who are conservatives and members of the Federalist Society, who are respected by so many people that you know, who are stepping aside because they can't stand this stink over our Constitution and our country. That's what I'm asking you to look at as we look at not just these nominees, but everything that's happening in our country today.
Is she okay? Is she all right?
No,
Somebody needs to check on her.
Not okay.
I wish there was a man sitting next to her that went, you need to calm down.
Calm down.
You just need to calm down, Amy. All right. She looks so distraught.
Oh my God. She was shaking with rage.
God, are you all right? Maybe
She's
go
not
make another
okay.
video out in the snow, lady. Go touch snow. Yeah.
Yesterday, we talked about Gavin Newsom starting a podcast, and there's been backlash, as you might imagine. And so reporters were asking him yesterday if that's really the best use of his time. And here is how he responded.
I might say that's a bit of a distraction from your day job.
No, it's essential for my day job. It's an opportunity to communicate people, respecting all of you directly. The world's changed. We need to change with it in terms of how we communicate and continue additional touch points, have two-way conversations, which are part of that podcast as well, in terms of having people be able to engage me directly. And I want to engage people that often I engage with in private and make public those conversations. And I think that's what inspired this. I had some interesting conversations with people I deeply disagree with. And we found a lot of common ground. And I just thought, I said to someone, one of those conversations, I said, wish this was been recorded, because I think it would distill a sense of well-being people. That, we don't hate each other. While we have different points of view, you actually expressed some interesting insight, I said, that I didn't fully appreciate, and I hope I offered the same. And so that was the idea for the website. Well, one of them will be on shortly, and there'll be a reason for the guests that will be on, because it sort of reflects some of those conversations. And so I just think that's important.
He uses all the, those guys when we used to work in corporate America that used all the right corporate speak. And he's like, touch points and paradigm shift and all the other. I mean, it's just such bullshit. He just spews bullshit out of his face. And people are like, oh God, when liberal women are like, he's so hot and greasy. So hot.
He should be president.
God, he is just you. Anybody with half a brain cell can see right through this guy. He is just so full of crap. It's unbelievable that he's in the position that he's in. He would not ever make it in the private sector, except for the words. You know what I mean?
Right. He's good at the words.
He'd be good at the words and the touch points. Shut up, Gavin. God. And it makes me wonder, listen, the whole podcast thing, him doing it makes me think, okay, he thinks that's somehow more lucrative, maybe, or do you think he's going to run for something else in addition?
He's going to run. Oh yeah, he's going to run.
Okay.
He's going to run. Absolutely.
He feels like he has to
doing this as a platform to help him run.
Right. He has to be a celebrity. He has to become more of a celebrity and more in people's faces. And he has to schmooze more in order to get to that next level, which is president, right? I mean, he wants to run for president.
Yeah.
Gross.
He's absolutely going to run. There's no way he's not.
And there will be so many dumb people that vote for him.
Yeah.
That's what's so astounding to me. It's just the amount of stupidity in this country. When you fall for that, they're the same people that would have gotten into a car with Ted Bundy.
Okay, now, hey, that's not fair. Because I would have gotten into the car, but I would never vote for Gavin.
Mark would have totally gotten into the car, you guys.
I would have gotten into that car.
I think you would now. I think when you were like in your 20s and 30s, you would have gotten into the car
in that time period, like when it was, nobody thought people were that creepy. You know what I mean?
She would have gotten into the car. I wouldn't have. Yeah.
I would have absolutely gotten in.
Right.
The reason for my name today is because Maxine Waters was caught getting out of a car, walking into a building, and there was like somebody there with a phone asking her questions about Elon. And I think at first she thought this was a person who was on her side, and then quickly realized that it wasn't. And she gets so weird.
Yes, she does. Video. She starts singing or something. Like, what was that?
She's like, oh no.
She's doing a little ditty.
Please enjoy.
I think they should get Elon Musk out of there messing with any of our departments.
But we long to be, don't you want to be accountable to what's happening with the homeless and everyone that is out on the streets? We want the people that have mental illness.
We don't want a non-elected man appointed by the president to start making people go home, lose their jobs, and all of that.
How can they lose their We're going to have more money to hire than someone else.
Oh no, he's tricking you. You're getting fooled.
I'm a Trump supporter, and I love what President Trump is doing. Yo amo a Presidente Trump. Es un presidente, el mejor presidente de la comunidad hispana in America should know. When you tell them
insane. Like, seriously, I can't. One strong wind and that hair is off. Like, it's just gonna go flying down the road. Like that, it was almost like on the verge. It was teetering. You know what I mean? It was like gasping for breath. That wig was. It was really bad. Also, why are walking cadavers representing the American people? Why?
So many.
There's so many walking cadavers, you guys. I don't understand. Like, she is insane.
Yeah, that was fun though. I liked watching it.
That was a good one.
Also, Sunny Hostin, not on The View, but like on a whole other show, was talking about
shows. Oh my god!
I know.
Okay, wow.
I know. She was talking about how she's so concerned about people who are not in favor of DEI, and she gives a very profound reason.
Okay,
it makes me feel that you don't want diversity, equity, and inclusion. And the Republican Party and the conservatives have done a great job of bastardizing that term. And I think it needs to be retaken and explained.
No, so she's like, if you say that you are not in favor of DEI, it makes me feel like you are not in favor of DEI.
Yes.
Good job.
It makes me feel like you're not in favor of diversity, equity, and inclusion. That's what it stands for. Did you know that? Yeah, we know that. We know.
My God.
We want a society based on merit. God, these people. Yeah. Okay. We don't.
Yikes.
We don't want DEI. DEI sucks. It's like the soft bigotry of low expectations. Is that what it is? It's a lot of that. and a lot of just not picking the best person for the job, which is what America should be all about. It doesn't matter how much melanin you have in your skin. It doesn't matter if you have lady parts or not. Just pick the best person. What a concept. That doesn't make people racist or sexist. We just want the right people doing the jobs, because especially in positions where they're trying to keep me safe.
Yes, exactly.
Somebody who's a pilot or doing air traffic control. I don't care what color they are. I don't care if they have parts like me. I just want the right person doing the right job, keeping my family safe.
Mm-hmm. So I have no problem with Elon getting himself involved with the FAA. In fact, that gives me great comfort, and I think it should to other people as well. But naturally, you're going to have the hags of the View ripping on Elon at every possible opportunity, even when they end up sounding like complete xenophobes and anti-immigrant, which is exactly how Joy Reid came across yesterday. And then she ended up having to backpedal because she accused him of being pro-apartheid,
right?
Which is super batshit, but here she is.
I don't think he ever wanted really the responsibility of the job. He's not really bright enough to handle the job.
Oh my God.
And Elon Musk kisses his butt and strokes his tiny ego or big ego, whatever it is. And he doesn't get to he can take a nap while the guy was not born in this country. Who was born under apartheid in South Africa, so has that mentality going on. He was pro-apartheid, as I understand it.
He's a naturalized citizen,
right?
Now.
He's a naturalized
Now he's
citizen.
a naturalized citizen.
Oh, really? How did he do that? Did he come over the border legally? Now I'm getting some flack because I said that Musk was pro-apartheid. I don't really know for sure if he was. He grew up at that time when apartheid was in full bloom, before the great Nelson Mandela fixed that. He was around at that time, but maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. He might have been a young guy, too.
Might have been.
So don't be suing me, okay, Elon?
Why not?
Wow. They're allowed to say any lie they want, but we have to be really strict. That's why this show's important.
Yeah, it's important for you to get out there and spew stuff that isn't true, and then have to go, well, I mean, I don't know, but I'm just saying that he's pro-apartheid. Wow.
Yeah.
These women and people are clapping. The seals in the audience. I need to talk to those people. Like, what is wrong with you?
Oh my gosh. They are ridiculous.
They're so ridiculous.
You guys, the Don Lemon, Megyn Kelly battle continues on. It continues to rage. So yesterday we played Megyn Kelly going after Don Lemon, and now he's clapping back and is accusing her husband of being interested in his husband.
I cannot with this. I just can't. This is crazy.
I'm not playing the whole thing, but here's the gist.
I am actually embarrassed for her that she does what she does.
Okay.
People would like you, and the women would like you more if you weren't such what you said about my former colleague. And by the way, Megyn, let me just say something. Deal with your own house and tell your husband to stop looking at my husband across the room. It's weird. Okay?
Oh my God.
Wow.
You must have somebody in your family. Everybody's got one who thinks the whole world revolves around them. Like, you know who I'm talking about in your own family or in your group of, like, you have one of those people in your life. He is that guy. He thinks that everybody is just he's such a freaking narcissist. It's like everybody's paying it. You're looking at my husband. No, he probably just looked at him. He probably just glanced at him at some event somewhere. And he's like, your husband's looking at my husband. No one's looking at your husband, Dawn.
No, I can
No
assure
one's
you.
doing that. It's like, it's just get a grip. Yeah.
And
I can't
anybody
wait-
that's like married to Megyn Kelly has a type, and it's not dudes. Okay.
Right.
So
I feel like it's not. That's right. It just maybe not, but I can't wait to hear her response to this.
I know. I love this fight so much. I just wanted to keep going.
Yeah.
All right. Your favorite, Dan Crenshaw. So he was, I don't even know what podcast this is, but he was asked to set the record straight about whether or not he really would want to off Tucker Carlson, because we played that video for you the other day where he was on a hot mic saying, if I saw him, I would unalive him, and that he's the worst person ever. And so obviously got a lot of backlash for that. He tried to deny at first that he ever said it. He is at least now owning up to it, but this makes him look no better, you guys.
Congressman, let's just clear the air at a fundamental level. Do you have any actual desire to kill Tucker Carlson?
No, Greg. No, Greg, I don't. It's a little shocking that two serious people like you and I, dealing with serious things and serious issues, have to address that. But I suppose we do.
Oh my God!
You know, I caught that video for myself. After all, I saw the outrage online, and I gotta say that's the lamest quote unquote death threat that I've ever seen. I think it's pretty clear that that's a non-literal turn of phrase, the kind of thing we all say. Oh, that guy cut me off.
I don't say it. Can you say it?
It's anyone. I think anyone seriously watching and being honest with themselves knows that it's hyperbole said in private. No, Tucker does not have to worry. I absolutely have no desire to harm him.
And he called people like us online outrage peddlers, is what he said. I bet he's just pissed off that he couldn't manipulate the video like he did with ours.
Oh my gosh. That made him look way worse, I think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it did. What a dick
what
that
a
guy
scumbag.
is. God, he really is. Texas, let's do better. Can we please do better?
You guys, we have a treat for you. We've got to wrap up in the next 10 minutes. So we have just enough time for thank yous. And also, instead of talks today, we're doing like one big talk, which is actually a throwback that we mentioned yesterday for our 16th anniversary. Somebody had mentioned how much they loved our review of Chinese beauty products. So in case you have never seen that, please enjoy.
The thing is that I've heard that China is ahead of us technologically in many ways.
Well, when it comes to the anti-aging industry, there is no question about it.
So ahead. And so I trust them.
Implicitly.
I trust them so much to make me look and feel younger and rejuvenated, more rejuvenated.
Absolutely.
Than I ever have before.
And so when we saw this video, we thought, we have to try this.
We saw the price.
$200.
China. We're not made of money.
So we decided, let's see what other products China has in the anti-aging category. It came with its own carrying case.
Oh, that is very fancy.
It comes with 3 different coils of tension. So you work your way up to the.
Oh my God!
You better work
your way up to that.
It says work your way up to the highest, which is purple. There's no purple here.
It's just red, blue, and green. That's called the neckline slimmer and toning system.
I'm gonna go all the way to purple, which I think is blue. Try it out. 2 minutes a day. No. No. Okay.
Shush.
That's the sound of anti-aging.
You know what that's the sound of?
Like,
that's technology.
And you press.
That's China being advanced. Like this. Oh, I can see you looking younger.
I feel beautiful.
And more vibrant.
China.
And let's move on.
I'm going to tell you what it's supposed to do and what you do once it's in. All right.
Oh, this is so wrong.
And now shove that middle part in there. Get your
so
tongue.
Wrong.
Get. No. Put that middle part. Push that back. No, that's not even.
Oh, that's not it.
No.
It's this side.
There you go.
Uh-huh.
This is all you need to do. Make vowel sounds out loud over and
so
over
disturbing.
again. Producing regular and methodical exercises. Just say A-E-I-O-U. A-E-I-O-U. Over and over again for 3 minutes.
A-E-I-O-U.
And that is fighting the wrinkles around your eyes. We are clearly younger and youthful.
China.
All right, moving on.
China.
The Vowberry
Tastes like
Cell Roller.
Oh, this is
my
my
favorite.
You still have
for
this.
Face up, arm
She still has
cellulite,
it.
Roller slimming, roller massager for neck face. That is what it's called.
The name.
So you go
I
like
can't.
this.
Okay. I didn't know how to use mine.
Okay. And then you go like this.
Okay, so it slips in like that. Oh,
there you go.
Okay, wait, hold on.
Yeah. Just like that. And it rolls all the cellulite off of your face.
Cellulite on their face.
Well, clearly.
Dude, that chick doesn't. Okay.
But this is what it's for.
This is what...
It's for all the cellulite.
I feel rejuvenated.
I give this one a 10.
This is awesome.
I feel like this could be good for migraines.
Yeah,
too.
it
Like,
could.
if
I did it wrong.
Yeah, I feel like this could be a good. So it's multi-purpose.
I don't know if
this
it would
was
be good
around
for migraines because I get those, you don't. So I don't. Well, maybe.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I want to say this was like $3.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that actually is nice.
See, we highly recommend this particular item from China.
Listen, you know what? All I gotta say is, you plastic surgeons out there, you better watch
yourselves.
China.
If you could remind the audience of the name of this product.
The Vauberry Cell Roller for face up, arm cellulite roller, slimming roller massager for a neck face. China.
Put that into the search field.
Just put that right in there.
China.
And last but not least, we haven't even opened these.
Yeah. This is the best
This
one.
Oh my god! Anti-wrinkle, half-face slimming cheek mask, lift V-face line, slim up belt strap.
China.
China.
And listen, if it doesn't work for anti-aging, you can become a pro wrestler.
So it's very simple. You just go like.
Oh my god! This is ridiculous. This actually. Or is it like if you've had?
It's very adjustable.
Oh, is it? Okay, wait, hold on. Oh, is it like this? Is this?
Yes.
Is this?
That's
okay,
it.
hold on. I can't fit it in my ear.
Because these are adjustable.
Can you help me?
It's the cool anti-wrinkle half face.
I feel younger.
I feel so beautiful right now.
I feel really beautiful, you guys. I feel really good. I can't. I'm beautiful.
Oh my god.
China.
Beauty. This is beauty.
You're welcome.
That was like our radio days, man.
My favorite.
My hair was so long and brown. It
Oh
was
my
crazy.
god. I don't even know what mine was doing.
You guys, I should have kept that last one. I really should have kept it. It's really great.
The
Would've
one
been did a great thing
the
to get
neck
my husband
roller
in
with
the
the
mood.
like
Yeah.
the thing with the long name. That is my favorite thing of all time.
China, you guys, China.
Oh my god. All right, we've got thank yous to catch up on from yesterday from Tracy in the ball pit. Tracy H89 said happy anniversary jerks. And Alexis Wilhelm said average taxpayer pays 18 grand a year, 40 million to terrorists a week times 52 takes over 115,000 taxpayers. $4.7 trillion lost, over 261 million Americans paying taxes per year, 76% of our population. You take it instead, jerks.
When people do the math like that, it freaks me out. This is why it's better off that I just can't do math.
Robin Teal says, happy anniversary. You lovely ladies have been part of my morning routine for the last 3 years. Thank you for all you do.
Yes.
Let's see. On Venmo today, Kathleen Barbie says mummification is a form of decomposition where the body dries out.
Oh God, I don't know. I know, right? Oh
God. Carrie from the In Real Life Creation store says today enjoy 20% off at inreallifecreations.etsy.com with code LEFTCANSUCKIT. Enjoy.
Greatest code ever. It's a great
That's so awesome. Meredith RN on Local says, I've been shopping all morning. Love starting my mornings with the chicks. And Connie MJ just said, I can't. You too. And then lots of smiley faces.
Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Brian Brumley, blackout this commies. Take my money and spend it. Thank you, Brian. SMB 711, I think it was carbon monoxide poisoning. It wasn't. They ruled that out. I thought it was that yesterday too. I thought for sure that's what it was, but they ruled it out. So now it's all shady. Anastasia 63. I got 2 pickup orders, a delivery order and an Amazon order today. I'm going to mass, then hitting up shops. I'm just getting started up in here. I love it. Shop away. The photo and the story yesterday exposed the shameless grifting losers. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of that. It's a lot of that going on, you guys. But I don't know about, I don't know about the influencers. I don't think they were like total grifters. I think
they got caught in a big
web
thing that they did not know that they were going to be caught in.
Yeah, they got caught in a big deep state web is what happened there, I think. Colleen, I agree with Mock's theory. And I think the one dog ate some of her pills scattered on the floor counter. So some probably fell to the floor. I can't even get my dog to eat a pill with cheese. I don't know why.
Maybe these were tasty.
I don't know. It's so weird. Laura Kate Baker. Okay, move on. Binder gate is stupid. All right.
Laura, Do I need to get out the? I'm gonna
get it out. Get it out, Mock. We appreciate
Laura,
that, but
don't tell us what to do.
Don't ever tell us what to do. Nathan Decker. They didn't charge Epstein with trafficking to keep the FBI from raiding all 4 properties and declaring it all evidence. Mike Sassman. The few tidbits of okay life advice for men does not outweigh the ick factor with the Tates. Yes, agreed.
Thank you.
That's a perfect way to put it. Andrew also subscribes to Islam in a very sus interpretation. Also agree with that. Football G, and you know how, and listen, just putting it out there, and I probably shouldn't even say this out loud, but women are treated well in that world, in the Islamic
No, they're
world.
not.
So go figure. Football Jesus, a new trend. All these libs starting podcasts in the last 60 days, they lose jobs and start podcasts. Who will listen? Great job, ladies. I mean, they just want to compete with us, right? Kira the coroner, my favorite. Hi, Kira. My favorite number from the Epstein binder was 867 to the 5309. I already had it, but I was glad it was there. Shows transparency. Laura Carter, the only door Pritzker is knocking on is Krispy Kreme when the red light comes on. Aaron Powers, thank you for playing my favorite chick segment ever, China. Love you, jerk, so effing much. Take my money. That was a nice blast from the past. I haven't seen that in forever.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about so much of it. I love that so much.
It's so good. You guys have the best we can remember.
Really quickly, do I have 1 minute just to say thank you really quickly to an anonymous person who sent me this capybara? Thank you very much. I have no idea who sent it, but I love it. And then from Tammy Barnstool, who sent me an Ella cup.
Oh, I love her cups. I just love her cups.
Thank
so
you
sweet.
So much. It's so
you guys
nice.
remember, I'm going to be with Chad on Monday. Okay. We're still having a show, obviously, but I'm doing it with Chad. So it'll be mockless, which always kind of sucks, but so grateful to Chad for helping out. And then we will talk to you Monday and you'll see Mock again on Tuesday. Okay. All right. Bye, everybody.
Hello, beautiful people. This is the Chicks on the Right's Indian correspondent. Thank you for watching or listening. Be very sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay up to date on all of their delicious content. Okay, thank you. Come again.